got tagged in the rapid fire book tag. Hello everyone and welcome to That Horror Chick, my YouTube channel where I ramble about all things horror. My name is Angie and I am a huge horror fan. From books to movies, I like it all. Today I have my very first booktube tag. I got tagged by Isabel to do the rapid fire book tag. This tag consists out of 24 questions and at the end you tag a few other channels. Let's jump right in, shall we? The first question is ebook or physical book. Now I have to say I'm the type of person that likes both. Some I like more in the physical form, others I just like better in the ebook form. This is mostly because I have a chronic pain disorder and sometimes it is not that easy to hold very heavy books. So in those cases I do prefer the ebook. But I just love the sound of physical books. I love the smell of physical books and I just love the looks of physical books. Generally speaking, I will probably buy the ebook first, see if I like the book, and then buy it physically if I really like it. I do have a few auto-buy orders, of which I know that I will want the physical book. So I don't even buy the ebook from them and I will just directly buy the physical one. A few of these authors are Red James White, C.M. Goodross and Aaron Beauregard. The second question is paperback or hardcover. Now I am a paperback girly through and through. I just love the floppiness and I have to admit that I really like annotating my books. But for annotating, I have given myself one rule, and that is that I will annotate paperbacks only. Most hardcovers that I buy are special editions, like the one over here, The Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It has a very pretty sprayed edge. Let me show you, it's so pretty. This is the sprayed edge. I love it so much. It is so pretty. If I buy hardcover, it mostly are for the sprayed edges. That being said, I am more likely to buy the paperback instead of the hardcover. The third question is online or in store. Now, this is a difficult one for me because I live in the Netherlands and the English horror section in most of the bookstores in this country is very limited. Bookstores are more likely to carry the Dutch translation of most books and I do prefer to read in English. I also have a very niche taste in books. Think splatterpunk, extreme horror, things like that. And I don't see these often in store, which is such a shame because I would love to support local bookstores. Since they do not carry most books that I like, I am generally forced to buy from online stores. But if I had a choice and they carried the books that I love, then I will probably buy from a store. The fourth question is trilogies or series. This is a difficult one for me because I have the attention span of a potato unless I get really hyper fixated on a series. But if I have to choose, I think I will have to go for trilogies, simply because I generally get bored somewhere around the third book. The fifth question is heroes or villains. You can probably already guess my answer, but I am going for the villains. I love a good morally grey or even morally black character. You have probably heard about the term book boyfriends. And I always say, I like my main male characters with a little bit of spice and a lot of trauma. The sixth question is a book that you want everyone to read. Now, I have a very specific taste in books. I either read dark romance or horror. And if I read horror 9 out of 10 times, it is splatterpunk or extreme. I am very much aware that this is not everyone's cup of tea. Lots of people have triggers for extreme horror or splatterpunk, and they will not be able to read the books that I like. And I fully respect this. Everyone has their own triggers and we should keep them in mind. When I actually suggest a book to someone, I always ask a few questions. Like, what genre do you prefer? Can you maybe tell me a few of your triggers? And what kind of books would you never read? Simply because I think that book taste is such a personal thing that you cannot really recommend just one book for everyone. Now I can tell you what my favorite book is. This would be Playground by Aaron Beauregard. This is basically Saw with children, and this is definitely not everyone's thing. It is very gory and it completely obliterates the rule, don't kill children. Question number 8 is last book that you finished. This would be Blood of the Sinner by Deadly Rose. This was my first time that I read a book by this author. I actually followed her on TikTok where she was very enthusiastic about her debut. And I loved it. I rated it 4 stars. I had a really fun time reading it. But there are a lot of SA scenes. So if you're going to pick this book up, please check your trigger warnings. The last book that I bought, well, this is from an author by author of mine, and that would be Red Room, the newest C.M. Goodrell's book. I will be making a reading vlog from this one. I am very excited to read it. I can't wait. From what I have gathered, it takes place in hell, and it surrounds what happens to men that have S8 people when they go to hell. This sounded very interesting to me, and I can't wait to read this book. The 10th question is weirdest thing that you have used as a bookmark. Okay, this is going to sound very silly, but I was reading a bed one day, I think it is a few years ago now, and I had to go to the toilet. Because I couldn't find a bookmark very quickly, I actually put one of my pillows between the pages. I think that is the weirdest thing that I ever used as a bookmark. Number 11, used books, yes or no? Personally, I do not mind secondhand books at all. As long as they are in good condition and there are no folded pages and there are no damaged corners or the cover has damage, things like that, I am very much okay with secondhand books. That being said, if I go to a thrift store here in the Netherlands, 9 out of 10 times the books are pretty damaged. I am very specific when it comes to my books. No broken spines, no folded pages, the cover needs to look neat, things like that. So I'm more likely to buy a completely new book instead of a used one. That doesn't mean I mind getting used ones as long as it looks good. Question number 12 is your top 3 genres. Since I mostly read horror, it was a little bit difficult to pinpoint, but I think that number 3 would be paranormal horror. Then number 2 would be psychological horror and thrillers. And then in first place, of course, splatterpunk / extreme horror. If somebody loses a limb, I will probably like the book. Question number 13 is borrow or buy. This is a very easy question for me because I do prefer to buy my books. Our local library is very Christian, so if you read horror, there will not be a lot of choice over there. They basically carry no books that I like. This is such a shame because I would like to borrow more from the library. I also don't really like to borrow from my friends because I am very scared to damage the books. If I damage a book that I have bought, then it is a bummer, but it's not a big deal. If I damage a book that I have borrowed from a friend, I will most likely buy them a new one. Simply because I will feel so guilty. So I just prefer to buy my own books. Question number 14 is character or plot. Now, I like it when there is a balance between these two. Character development is one of my favorite things ever in books. But if a book doesn't have an interesting plot line, I will grow bored and you can throw as many character developments against me as you want. I will probably DNF the book. So for this one I have to say I do prefer a balance. Question number 15 is long or short books. Again, I don't really have a preference right away. I don't mind if a book has over 300 pages, and I also don't mind if a book has under 100 pages. If I choose my TBR, I do keep in mind how many short books I have and how many long books I have. This is mostly because I am calculating the time that I need to read it. Can I fit it in this month? So if I have, for example, 3 long books on my TBR for April next month, then I will balance it out with 7 short books. I think in that case, I have to go with the fact that I do prefer short books because I read more of them in a month. Question 16 is long or short chapters? I prefer short chapters. I don't even have to think about this. The longer a chapter is, the more likely I am to get bored. Number 17 is the 3 books that you can think of right now. That would be Playground by Aaron Beauregard, The Night Stalkers by Christopher Triana and Ryan Harding, and The Television by Edward Lee. Question number 18 is books that make you laugh or cry. I have the tendency to get very attached to the characters of a book. So when my favorite characters started dying in Playground, I did cry a little. Now I do know that I read mostly splatterpunk, and this means that most characters that are introduced will probably die. Still, at the end of the book, when there are a few chapters left and I have grown attached to some characters, I will cry when they die, even though that I know that they are going to die. Question 19 is our world or fictional worlds? I think I have to go with fictional worlds. I do like myself some fantasy books at times, and I think I prefer those worlds. I also think that in most horror books, we are actually not in our world, but like an alternative universe or something. So I will have to say fictional worlds. Question 20 is audiobooks, yes or no? Personally, I do like audiobooks, but only when I'm doing something else. For example, when doing chores, or when writing in my journal, or just walking around outside, things like that. Those are the moments that I love audiobooks. Question number 21. Ever judged a book by its cover? Yes. That's a very easy question. Absolutely yes. I am the type of person that when I am in a bookstore, I will gravitate towards pretty covers. The first thing that grabs my attention 9 out of 10 times is the cover, unless I have seen it, for example, on TikTok or YouTube. I am a huge sucker for pretty covers. Book to movie or book to TV show? This actually depends on the book. If it is a series, then I prefer a TV series, simply because there will be so much happening in them. And I don't think that in a 90 till 120 minute runtime, you can bring that across correctly. But if it is a standalone, I think you're better off with a movie. A movie or TV show that you preferred to the book. This is a difficult one actually, because 9 out of 10 times I try to read the book before I watch the movie or TV show. I cannot think of any right now. Maybe A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but that's mostly because I think the casting was really good. So I think I will go with that one. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And the last question is series or standalones? I think I prefer standalones actually, simply because they wrap up the story. But I am not going to turn down a good series. If I get really attached to the characters, I will love a series. I will want to read more and more about these characters, this world, the plotline, all of the good things. And that was the last question. I found this tag very fun to do. I do hope that you got to know me a little bit better and got to know my taste in books. Though the name of my channel probably already gave that away. I love horror. Of course, at the end of the tag, you also have to tag a few other channels. The channels that I'm going to tag are Sin's Corner, A Fictional Escapist, Chapters of Mads, It's Terrific, I Dream of Books, and Cliff's Dark Gems. You can find all of the tag channels in the description down below. I also want to thank Isabel from Isabel Reads once again. I had so much fun doing this tag. Thank you so much for tagging me. You can also find her channel down in the description below. Please go and give her a little look-see, and if you're there already, maybe also drop a subscription. And with that, we are at the end of the video. If you want to stay up to date about the books that I read, you can follow me on Goodreads and Storygraph. I also have an Instagram where I post about the books that I read now and again. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please leave a thumbs up, a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe on my channel if you haven't done that yet. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!